Hello, all my crafty people out there. It is time for one of our weekly projects. This week, I'm doing something for my granddaughter, and I think you'll get a kick out of it. If you haven't been here before, my name is Stephanie, and I upcycle clothing, generally from my local thrift stores, and I either make new clothing or accessories. And this week is no exception. We're going to be making something for my little granddaughter, my youngest granddaughter, to wear in her school Mardi Gras parade. They parade around the parking lot at school and throw beads. And anyway, she's going to be walking in the parade. And I thought that we'd start with her pair of jeans, which these are two tees. She's tiny mite. And they were $2.59 at the Goodwill. They fit her, and they have that elastic in them that you can unbutton and get bigger, but it's probably going to be about right size. And I did check the length, so they're good. And then I found, now remember, our school colors are green and yellow, and of course, Mardi Gras is purple, gold, and green at this point. Traditionally, it was only two colors. I found this very yellow top, which I don't even know if I could have worn this a long time ago. But it's got these really cool sleeves that I think would make perfect little bell bottoms on the bottom of her jeans for her to swish through the parade. So I'm going to replace the bottom of her jeans with these bell bottoms, with these sleeves. And then I'm hoping I'll get y'all a clip of her walking in the parade in the video. So let's get to the table and have some fun. Okay, everybody, this is going to be a fairly quick project, and it's something you could do to get more out of kids' clothes, especially little girls' clothes, obviously, by adding to the bottom. I mean, if these were too short, I could just add to the bottom. I think probably everybody's done that at one time or another. But this, I'm not really adding. I'm going to use the same length, but I'm going to be making them bell bottoms for the parade. This little pair of pants was $2.59, and like I said, they've got that nice button elastic where I can extend them, or right now they're tightened as far as they can go. And then this blouse was actually, it says $4.99, but I got it on the dollar day, so I paid like $1.50 for it, maybe, I think. And I had thought about taking the rest of it and making a skirt for my other grandchild, but I'm not sure if there's enough up top. I probably could cut it down and get enough out of it, but we'll measure that later. My primary concern is this. I may make them both in the same video, though, so you can use either one. So this is our little pair of jeans, and if we fold them in half, I like to get a better feel for them in half like this. And let's just see. As long as our hems are meeting, that's really the main thing. Okay, a little bit more there. Maybe put a pin in it, just to make sure. Make sure we go through all 4 layers. All right, there we go. Mardi Gras is a big thing down here. We're the home of Mardi Gras here in Mobile, so we tend to go all out, obviously. Now, these are going to be some pretty healthy bells. The good part is that they're about the same width as the jeans. So we're not going to be needing any gathering or anything like that. We're just going to chop and go. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to chop about... I'm trying to decide if I'm going to have this opening piece here. I think I might. So I'm going to cut above this, but below the jean. So let's say probably about here. And that will give me, yeah, right there. So let's see how much that is. Let's see. Let's just measure it up here. We're talking about right at around 7 and a quarter. I think that's about what we've got to take off. Yeah, about 7.5 actually. That's right here, right there, about 7.5. So all we're gonna do, let's just double measure. Make sure that we're gonna have enough for our seam allowance. We're gonna include this. This comes below it. So we should be good. So let's lop these off. Get our handy dandy ruler. Put our little hemline on one of these. Now this is gonna be thick. So I'm going to probably have to go through this a couple of times. Just make sure we're all even. Yeah, there we go. Not as bad as I thought. The little jeans are thinner than I thought they were. So now we've got our jorts. Well, what looks like jorts. Thank goodness they're not. And now we're going to cut our little bell bottoms off of the sleeves. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the sleeve off up here for right now because I'm going to end up using it anyway. So I'm just going to cut the sleeve off up here. And then I can take my time cutting the right part of the sleeve. So I'm just cutting those off. Again, this may become a skirt. We're going to see. So now we have our potential bell bottoms. And like I said, I think I want to include this ribbing. And you can see. So I'm going to cut up here. And I'm going to cut probably, just make sure it's going to fit. Oh yeah, that's going to be great. I'm probably going to cut maybe, not quite a 1/2 inch up at the top. I think it'll be fine. But I'm going to do it with the scissors. And the reason I'm going to do that is so I can keep above this line. If you do it with the rotary, you got to take a chance that although it does line up really well on the seam, you got to take the chance that you're going to cut into the wrong piece. It's hard to get it folded just perfect when you're doing that. But the jeans, not so much. All right. I'm obviously cutting more than a 1/2 inch, but I can trim up what I need. All right. There is our bell bottom, number 1. And here is our bell bottom, number 2. I think this is going to be so cute. Can't wait to see her swish down the parade route or the parking lot with her little bell bottoms on. Okay. This will give us plenty. And this is a nice kind of thick lace. But you wouldn't have to do this with lace. You could do this with fabric. You could do it with pieces of fabric, like kind of like quilted pieces. You could do it with ribbon. There's all kinds of things you can do. So now all we're going to do is we're going to turn these inside out, and we're going to slip them up over the little jean leg. And I am going to put the only seam that's on these sleeves, I'm going to put it on the inside seam. So we're just going to kind of match them up here. And let's see, put that seam to the back and put this seam to the front. Kind of counter them like you would a quilt. And we're just going to pin around. If I can hold on to my pins. Got me some more glass head pins today. Those babies. Boy, they're a lifesaver, but I can bend the heck out of some. This should fit just right. If it didn't fit, it would be very easy, not necessarily with this lace, but with a piece of fabric or ribbon, to just run a little gathering stitch around it and make sure that that it fit in there. Kind of like we do the sleeves, just to make sure we give them a little bit of ease. And there we are. I did go ahead and zigzag over the edge because it's too tight to get on the serger, so I wanted to keep that edge from fraying. But I did not top stitch, partly because it would have been a booger to do it. And secondly, I didn't think it really needed it. So if you need to top stitch, just beware. It's going to be fun to try and it's a finagling thing with the machine to get to do it. All right, everybody, y'all know I made the littlest one her pair. She'll wear these in the parade. And then the other one is out of uniform, the oldest. So I made her a pair as well out of some little fancy jeggings. So there's the other half of that shirt that got utilized. And then they need belts. I don't know why they need belts, but I think they'll look cute with belts. And I found this really pretty purple tie. It's kind of changing, but it is purple. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it in two. One half for Edith's belt and one half for Paisley's. So I think I'll probably do it like this. And maybe of course, the longer one for the older one. But this should be more than enough. And I have these D-rings. They're 1.5 inch, but I think they'll be perfect to make little belts with. So I'll just need to sew them on to this end, and then this end will run through those two D-rings. So let me go cut this, serge it, sew it down on the D-rings, and we'll see what the belt looks like. The first thing I'm going to do with the tie, now that I've got it divided where I want it, right there, is I'm going to serge it off on both sides. So I'm just going to take the little crease here, put it on the machine and serge it off, and then I'll serge the other side and be able to attach the D-rings. So that's one, and then we're just going to serge the other side so it doesn't fray. And now we'll go sew our D-rings on at the sewing machine. Okay, this is what the first belt turned out looking like, which is exactly what I wanted. It does turn out, if you want the tie to be, the front of the tie to be like this, you're actually going to see the underside of the tie around the rest of the belt, which is fine for me. And like I said, this is just a kind of a costume kind of thing. But you could do this for yourself as well, because these ties are definitely long enough. And what I did is I took my tie piece, and this is the remaining piece I have, the smaller end, and I'm going to run a zigzag down the center where the seams meet. This one happens to be hand stitched, so I don't want it to come undone. And then we will lay it like this, because you want this end to come out and you don't want to see this part. So you want to see this. So we're going to lay it flat, facing up. And then we'll take our two pieces here, put them together, and we will put this through like this. And you will see the back side of the tie. But again, we're going to put a little zigzag. You could do a decorative stitch, whatever. But what that does is, when you pull this up to here and pull it through, this is the side that you'll see, and this is the side you want to see. So let me go stitch down. Again, this is going to be, we're stitching down to the right side of our tie. I know it seems backwards. And then we'll be able to put it in properly. And again, this would be the side you'd see.